to read some viewer mail. We get tons of mail. A lot of times I'm taking YouTube comments. Sometimes I'm getting viewer mail. Sometimes a combination of both. This seems like a classic.
Okay.
Horizontal. Dear Wilds, love the show. And Brew's recent trend-setting picks.
Yeah.
Jets are good on paper.
Yeah.
Said that first. Mahomes is Jordan-esque. Said that first. I saw today that even the Cowboys are now taking his advice. Cheers, Don Sr.
Oh, Brew has
So
a
first of all, shout out to everyone at the U.S. Postal Service. Don Sr. saw this today, got the letter in the mail, and it got here to New York City. So thank you.
Yeah.
Here's what I think Don Sr. is talking about. Mike McCarthy debuted a new shirt. It says Rooted. And on the back of it, Brew, it says stay in the present, which is what you always talk about. Don't talk about the Super Bowl.
Right.
Also, I don't think it's a coincidence, toes.
Oh, there are
10
2
toes
feet on
down.
that.
There's
It's
2
2
feet.
feet. Brew
Says
can't
stay
see 'cause
rooted.
it's very
so
old,
it's just
but
another
I
time.
don't know what you're talking about.
On
the
on the
shirt?
back of the
Oh, on
shirt.
the back of the
There's
shirt.
2 feet there.
10 toes
Stay in the
down.
present.
There it is.
So again, you are all week you've been on a heater of trend-setting
Wow.
picks. So
Wow.
obviously now time for the fun.
I knew something was coming. All right, at number 3, Jordan Love. All right, now Jordan, smart people. Peter Schrager and me are picking you guys to reach the Super Bowl.
Again, Schrager.
Schrager did it after you.
Always right.
He
picked
did it
that
after
right.
you.
He went after me.
Yeah, come on, God.
Jordan, I got 2 things to say to you in motivation. 2 things you need to avoid. One, don't try to live up to your contract, right? Your 4 years, $220 million contract. Congratulations. Tied for the highest paid guy in the league now. Just go out and play. You earned it by being yourself. Don't add pressure to yourself by, I got to live up to this deal. Secondly, I want you not to rest on your laurels, okay? Because one season, one great half a season at that, does not a great player make. Remember Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts now being questioned, all right? So if you don't have a great year and it starts tonight or tomorrow night against Philadelphia in Brazil, you can quickly start being questioned. Now, it's ironic to me or interesting to me that you follow Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, 2 Hall of Fame greats, because Favre, as great as he was a little too reckless, and Aaron, as great as he is, can be a little too cautious at times, and I want to throw interceptions. I think Love can be kind of in the middle. You know, he will take the risk, but he's not as reckless as Favre. Jordan, it starts tomorrow against the Eagles. I believe in you. At number 2, Nick will like this one. Nick Sirianni. Nick Wright will like this one. Now, look, we all know, Nick, you're on the hot seat. We all know that your owners thought about reaching out to Bill Belichick. And I got to be honest, it doesn't seem like Belichick is going to just ride off into the sunset. I mean, he's everywhere. So he looks like he wants to be on the sidelines somewhere next year. So you got to go out there and get it done. Again, it starts tomorrow for you against Green Bay in Brazil. There was last year, of course, you end the season in the supernatural funk. It looks like you don't have control of your team because you can't do anything to motivate the guys and stop it. Then a detailed article comes out about your problems with your quarterback, Jalen Hurts. So you got those issues. And now on your way to Germany, you had 3 players, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Darius Slay, all complain about how they don't want to play in Brazil.
Yeah.
And that's fair if they want to say it, but that looks like you do not have control of the locker room and didn't tell your guys, look, I know it's going to be tough there. It's going to be, challenging. You may not want to go there, but we got a football game to win. Do not say anything in the press. You either didn't say it or they didn't listen to you. Either way, it's not good. So you got to win tonight. I'll say this, Nick. I believe in you more than Nick Wright does.
Oh,
all right. At number 1, Lamar Jackson. All right. And Lamar, I'm going to give you some motivation that you and Nick Wright will love. Here you go.
I think it's Baltimore's chance finally. I got Baltimore coming out of AFC. I'm not counting out Patty Mahomes. It's like you'd never count out Tom Brady, obviously. But I just feel like this could be Baltimore's year.
I mean,
LeBron is really trying to get my GOAT vote. He really is trying to get back over. I mean,
And did you see who we had coming out of the NFC?
yes, the Niners.
I mean, it's the Super Bowl pick Brew really wanted to make. Ravens-Niners. But see how LeBron was careful not to get on the board?
Yeah.
Threw in there.
He
I'm
was
not
very
counting
he was
out Patrick
hedging a
Mahomes.
little
Smart.
bit.
Savvy, go ahead.
But Lamar, look, tonight, obviously you're in Kansas City. You are going to hear, I'm sure you've been hearing about it, 1-4 against Patrick Mahomes. Now, I personally, and this is honest truth, I think that's a little overblown. It's true. You're 1-4 against Mahomes, but you're 1-1 against him in the last 3 years. We know you're a different quarterback than you were years ago. All right. So your last you beat him in 2021, and you had 3 touchdowns in the last quarter and a half. You threw a touchdown. You ran for 2 in the fourth quarter to lead a great comeback. So I think in your mind, you feel like you definitely can beat Patrick Mahomes, but the narrative is that you can't. And if you lose tonight, that narrative is just going to get louder and louder. And even if you go 16-1, people are still going to say you can't beat Mahomes. And maybe it's even playing in the back of your head. You can't beat him. Even if you win your second MVP in a row and 3rd overall, people will say you can't beat Mahomes, and it might play back in the back of your head too. So tonight it starts. You can erase those demons, and then if you meet him in the playoffs, so be it. So Lamar, you know I believe in you.
Excellent bud list, as always.
We can start the season on that. Once we get to the bud list, you got to work through all those other lists and things throughout the course of the week. And then we get to the bud list.
Best list maker in America. People are saying.
yeah.
I mean,
It gets me fired up for the season. And as good as it is, I'm going to add one. I mean, I don't know if I can top this, but I'm going to add one. I'm going to add my all of our friend Aaron Rodgers. And here's the deal. You skipped mandatory minicamp. You skipped the preseason. You miraculously could have played last year at the end of the season if the Jets got into it. You have 3 new starters on the offensive line, including a #1 draft pick that's not starting but ready to go if they need you. Okay, so you got that. You've got Mike Williams. You talked about not having distractions, but all you've done is create distractions. Yeah. Whether it was, I'm going to become the potential VP candidate, or, I mean, take your pick of weekly distractions, going to Egypt. Like, it's just on and on and on. And have we seen it done before? Yeah, we've seen this done before with Tom Brady. Okay, so it's not like you'd be the first one or a pioneer. So here it is, Aaron. It's time to pay the bill.
Yeah.
Well done, Coach. It absolutely is. And he's got all the parts around him.
Everything you
especially
wanted
on paper.
is there.
In all seriousness, I said this on the morning call, I'll say it again.
Yeah.
I think this is the best bud list Brew's ever done.
Wow.
So good, before I even add my addition, I'm going to supplement Brew's point about Lamar being #1 under duress.
Okay.
This is why Lamar's under duress. Lamar, in his career against Kansas City, who you mentioned, his team's rival Pittsburgh, and in the playoffs, versus everything else. In the biggest spots, 4-10, 73 rating. Every other spot, that's the resume of, honest to God, the greatest quarterback ever. The other games column, highest win percentage, one of the 3 highest passer ratings, touchdown interception ratios off the charts, all of it. But against the team of the era, the longtime team rival, and in the postseason, that's the resume of Zach Wilson. And I'm not saying he's Zach Wilson, I'm just saying, like, that's what the resume is. That's why today's game, to Brew's point, is so important. And it's a brilliant point, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here during the bud list to be what, Wilds?
I mean, against our better judgment, you've deemed yourself the media ombudsman.
I'm the media ombudsman. And sometimes we must look outwards to bad lists or rankings.
Yeah.
And sometimes we must look inwards to our own show.
Okay, sure.
So I must, regretfully, Coach, add to the bud list Chris Broussard and Kevin Wilds.
What did I do?
Well, because
That's a good picture of us.
Because here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have seen what's happened today, or more notably, what hasn't happened today. Dak Prescott still doesn't have a contract. And old KW.
Thank you.
Old KW was very specific.
Yeah.
It's going to happen hours after the closing ceremonies.
Yeah.
No, of the Olympics. Oh, it's going to happen the morning of the first game of the year. Well, even in Hawaii, we're into late morning. So it's going to happen right before kickoff. All right, you got 3 hours, 4 hours. You guys have a few hours before you're wrong and a few days before you're dead wrong. And the worst part about it is you had someone who, even if you find grating at time, is pretty good on projecting contract stuff.